The Nats lose 8-3 against the Chicago Cubs, but my big overall take for yesterday's game is why is Trevor Williams in this starting rotation?
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I am your host, Ryan Clare. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClair11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, the video version over on YouTube. Again, just look up Locked On Nationals, and that is where you'll find your daily coverage of the Washington Nationals. And later on in today's show, we've got a Game 2 preview. It's Mackenzie Gore Day. It's a good day for the Washington Nationals with your ace of the mound, tied for Major League's lead in strikeouts this season, number 1 in the National League, 4 strikeouts for Mackenzie Gore. We'll have that preview for you later on in today's program. And in the second segment, I was thinking about this. The Nats roster, and even just the lineup and the starting lineup in general, look at it today, and let's talk about it in a few weeks from right now. It's going to look a lot different. I'll explain some changes that are coming, some guys that will be healthy, and also we've got some injury updates on some of your key Washington Nationals that we'll get into in that second segment. But let's start off discussing yesterday's game as Nationals lost 8-3 in Game 1 against the Chicago Cubs. But today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money, and take control of your finances with Monarch Money and use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Well, in yesterday's game, the Washington Nationals, they laid an egg, and that's fine. You're going up against the second best team in the National League, in my opinion. The Dodgers are number 1. And then right there after them is the Chicago Cubs. And the record-wise, by the way, the Cubs are the number 1 team in the National League. This is a very good team. And this is why on yesterday's show, we kind of went in. I was with Ben Strober, the new host of Locked On Wizards. And I thought that yesterday's game, and really just this series overall, would kind of be a good judgment of how good this Nationals team is and if they are ready to contend. Now, it's way too early to dictate either of those at this point. The Nationals are 28-32. It's June 4th. You still have a lot of time to win ball games and get into the wild card conversation. But going up against the Cubs, and with how good the Nationals were in the month of May, this would give you a good kind of judgment of where this team is. This team's not the Chicago Cubs just yet. They are done with their rebuild. They have spent money. They have went in. They traded for Kyle Tucker in this offseason. They have been in and signed big-time free agents. They have made big-time trades. They have developed the talent. They're through their rebuild. The Nationals, on the other hand, there's a debate to be had. They're at the back end of this rebuild. That's something that I think we can all agree with at this point. But still, the Nationals, they need to start winning ball games. Yesterday's game, though, before we kind of get into the Trevor Williams conversation, let's talk about some highlights real quick. James Wood. Can't miss a day of James Wood. And if James Wood is at bat, you got to stop what you're doing and you got to watch this kid take his hacks. 116 mile per hour exit velo on his double last night. That was the 16th hardest hit in baseball this season. The highest exit velo for James Wood this year was 118. Yesterday was the second highest exit velo for him this season. But his 118 exit velo, this is our guy Grant Paulson had this actually. That is the third as far as players go. All right, let me rephrase this actually. Only Vladdy and O'Neal Cruz have had harder hit baseballs this season than James Wood. James Wood is just incredible, guys. Like, I cannot talk enough about James Wood and just how special this guy is. Pete Crow Armstrong actually did not take the best route when James Wood hit that laser over him in center field. But I also think with the way that James Wood hits, the ball feels as if it's a lot lower to the ground, and all of a sudden it takes off. We've seen that all season long with James. So I see why Pete Crow Armstrong played that in a weird way. James Wood is just a different hitter. So there's that. But James Wood was, again, awesome in yesterday's game. Also, Josh Bell. He had a ball off the wall. What was it? Right center, left center field, 390 feet. And it was a single, by the way. Josh Bell has been crushing the baseball. This is something that I've been waiting for, something that you have been waiting for. We have talked about this. Josh Bell is breaking out at the right time and when the Nationals need him most. And with that in mind also, C.J. Abrams, one of your Nats MVPs for the first half of this season, he is slumping in a big way. He did add a hit in yesterday's ball game, but overall, Abrams does not look the same. And I think that's going to be a pretty big talking point as we kind of move on in this season because CJ last year in the first half, all-star. He got voted to be on the all-star team, and he deserved it. Right now, he's kind of following that same track where as we get deeper into the summer, CJ is starting to slump a little bit, and it's been over the last 2 weeks here. So that's something to watch out for as we move forward because, again, I saw Barry's Fluga. He wrote a blog about this yesterday, and this is starting to become a thing with CJ. He's got to find some ways to stay consistent. Speaking of consistent, I want to talk about Trevor Williams, the former Chicago Cub, former New York Met. He has come over here with the Nationals. He's entering his third season with the Nationals. He signed a 2-year contract with the team this offseason. Let's have a talk. At what point in time do you move off of Trevor Williams? I'm not talking about DFAing him. I don't think that really plays a role here. Although you could make a case for him to be DFA'd, I don't think that's what the Nationals should want to do. And honestly, I don't think that's the right move at this point. Trevor Williams has a role in this team, but I don't think his role is as a starting pitcher at this point. If I'm the Nationals, after yet another start, going less than 5 innings pitched, has been 2 of his last 3 starts, by the way. And if you look at his season totals and look at just his past, Trevor Williams has never gone deep into games. So you always have to have a strong bullpen support group. That has not been the case for the Nationals this season. Even though the Nationals bullpen, they were pretty good and they have been pretty good for the last month or so. We have to have a real conversation about Trevor Williams, a starting pitcher. Trevor is not and should not be in this rotation, especially when you consider what you have down in the minors, which is Cade Cavalli. Cade Cavalli is not lighting the world on fire down in AAA. The Nats do not seem to be in any rush whatsoever to bring Cade Cavalli up. But at some point in time, he's going to be ready. And the Nationals are going to be ready to call upon him. That time could be sooner rather than later. And they have lost 2 years of service time with Cade Cavalli, by the way, from missing the past 2 years, from recovering from Tommy John surgery in spring training of 2023. But the time should be now to have Trevor Williams in the back of the bullpen and have Cade Cavalli in that starting rotation. This is what the Nationals should be doing like tomorrow. And this is what fans want to see. And also, this elevates your team. While Cade Cavalli may not be going deep into ball games, he provides a higher ceiling and just more higher quality innings. And at this point with Trevor Williams, he does have a role within this team. Number one, we've talked about it, veteran leadership. The Nationals need that. You need that with all these young guys on this team. You need a veteran leader in the clubhouse. Nathaniel Lowe provides that, but also Trevor Williams does as well. With where the Nationals are, Trevor Williams should not be in this rotation. It should not be a thing anymore. And I feel as if the Nationals know this. They know that Trevor Williams should not be in the starting 5 right now. But with where they are, waiting for Cade Cavalli to be 100% ready, waiting for other things to develop and maybe giving Trevor Williams some opportunities here because he is one of the highest paid players on this team right now. But Trevor Williams has no business to be in the starting rotation at this point. And if we really kind of look into it, why is he? Because this guy does have a role within this team, but the role should be in the bullpen. Or if you really want to stick with Williams being a quote-unquote starter, you should have an opener. That opener maybe could be Andrew Chafin to go 2+ innings. Maybe it's former starter Jackson Rutledge. He goes 2 to 3 innings pitch. And then you have Trevor Williams come in and go 3 to 4 innings. The Nationals just cannot throw Trevor Williams out there every 5 days at this point. It's number one, killing the bullpen. Use Cole Henry yesterday. Use Andrew Chafin. Use Jackson Rutledge. And yeah, we did just have a day off on Monday, so those guys are plenty of rest. But still, you got game 2 today, and then you have game 3 tomorrow, and this is a pretty big series. And then you have the Texas Rangers coming to town, which, by the way, you have Patrick Corbin, who is having a renaissance season for the Rangers, pitching against the Nationals on Friday night. With where the Nationals are, Williams has got to be in the bullpen. And if I'm Davey Martinez and Mike Rizzo and I'm meeting today at Nationals Park, I'm calling up Cade Cavalli, and I think it's time. But with Cade Cavalli coming up, there's going to be some roster moves. And also, there's another guy, Brady House. He's in AAA. He is really close to making the major league jump, in my opinion. So, and I think this could happen within the next maybe even few days, weeks at this point. We are anticipating a Brady House debut. We're anticipating a Cade Cavalli return as well from the IL. When do the Nationals make these moves? And within that, how do they make changes to this roster? We'll discuss all of that and more after we tell you guys about some of our very, very good friends over at Monarch Money. And of course, you ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go between dining out and online shopping and entertainment? It's easy to lose track. And that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. And Monarch Money is not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center, and you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. I have realized that I have spent a ton of money recently having food delivered to me. I've spent a lot of money going out, whether to the movies or making that shopping spree. I got to stop it. And Monarch Money was the one who made me realize that, and also even plan some long-term goals for me to try to achieve that and just simply help control my finances and set some goals for my future, because 25 years old, got to start saving money here now, right? So take control of your finances with Monarch Money and use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And before we jump into it, got a Jacob Young and Dylan Cruz update. Dylan Cruz, this one was, although not too surprising, but not worrisome, I will say, because he has an oblique injury and it's like his lower back. We all know where the oblique is on the side there. It's a really tough injury for baseball players, and we don't really know how long he's going to be out. But I think when he first got hurt, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, when he was put on the IL, we all kind of anticipated this to be a little bit of a longer injury. Not like months. I don't think that will be the case. But I think an early July return is not that far-fetched at this point. And Dylan Cruz has not been able to continue any baseball activities at this point. He has been sidelined. He has not been hitting. Probably has not been throwing either. And David Martinez did allude to that fact yesterday. So right now, Dylan Cruz, it's going to be a little bit of a longer injury here, and we'll probably see how severe it is as the days go on. Maybe he'll be able to continue running or throwing or hitting. We don't know at this point, but David Martinez did say he has not done any baseball activities at this point. So that's certainly something that we'll be watching, because, again, you've got Robert Hassel III, You've got Dalen Lyle up in the big leagues right now. Second, Jacob Young. He is actually down in AA Harrisburg. He made his first rehab start in yesterday's contest, and they actually had a walk-off home run in Harrisburg yesterday, so that was pretty cool for Jacob Young to be a part of that. But Jacob Young, I believe he got a hit in yesterday's game. I don't really care too much about the results in your rehab. I just need to see you play every single day. But even then, with Jacob Young, do we really want him up in the major leagues at this point? Or do you want to keep him down in the minors the way that some of these guys have been playing? And I think that leads us into the conversation of the lineup changes that could be coming, the roster changes, the roster moves. Things could happen. And right now, I want to talk about this. Your current outfield is James Wood in left field. That's going to stick. End of conversation. He's not going to first base. He's not going to DH, at least I don't think at this point. He's going to be your left fielder for all 162, barring any injuries. And then in center, you've got Robert Hassel III. In right field, you've got Dalen Lyle. In a few weeks, this is what I expect the outfield to look like. James Wood in left, done. Dylan Cruz, when he is healthy, in center field. In right field, it's going to be between Dalen Lyle and Robert Hassel III. And your fourth outfielder, it's going to be Alex Call. First and foremost, let's talk about the right field position. Now, in this scenario, you don't hear the name Jacob Young. I predict that the Nationals will option Jacob Young and keep him down in AAA. And I think that's a smart move because, number one, he's got plenty of options. You can keep him down there and see what these young guys have to offer. Because Robert Hassel III and Dalen Lyle both provide higher ceilings than Jacob Young. And as we have seen over the last 2+ weeks, they have been plenty ready to make this jump into the majors. And as we saw in yesterday's game, another big hit from Dalen Lyle. So you kind of have to tag those two together with Lyle and Robert Hassel III. I think the Nationals and where they sit today might be better off keeping Dalen Lyle in the bigs. Number one, he does provide a little bit of a higher ceiling. Now, I think Hassel gives you the higher floor, so you can kind of discuss that amongst yourself and maybe what you think should be prioritized there. But here's the simple fact of it. Dalen Lyle has shown a little bit more so far than Robert Hassel. And Hassel's good. He's a good quality prospect, 23 years old. He is still very young and 100% will be an impact big leaguer. I do believe in that after seeing him the first few weeks here. But right now, you're probably going to have to stick with the hot hand. And yeah, forget the numbers. Let's not talk about those anymore. Just based on ability, Dalen Lyle, while I do think he is not the defender that Robert Hassel is, especially in center field, Dalen Lyle at the plate and on the bases, he is and has had a higher ceiling for quite some time now. He can hit for some pretty quality power, and we've seen that up in the bigs, hitting a couple long shots against the Arizona Diamondbacks this past weekend. But I do think the Nationals decide to stick with Dalen Lyle. And with that in mind, you do option Robert Hassel III back down in AAA, and you also keep Jacob Young in AAA as well. Or if the Nationals really want this, which I would not do this personally, I would keep Jacob Young in AAA until further notice and keep Alex Call as your fourth outfielder. Some people might think, why would you do that? Well, I think Alex Call, number one, is a great fourth outfielder that maybe you can get something at the deadline for him. But also, number two, I want to see Jacob Young get at bats. Jacob Young is such a quality defender that if he were to figure something out and try to hit at a higher rate and get on base at a relatively decent rate, and let's just say put the ball in play at a very quality rate without striking out and drawing some walks, this guy would be an everyday player because he is that good defensively. But with where the Nationals are, I don't want him to just sit on the bench, even though I do believe that he's going to be a fourth outfielder for his career. That's what I think, and that's what I believe. But he's still young enough where you want to give him opportunities. And there is no opportunities when you're the fourth outfielder. So some people might say, well, you think Alex Call is going to be here in the future rather than Jacob Young? That's insane. It's not what I'm saying here. with where the Nationals are now, you're better off getting Jacob Young at bats down in AAA. No need to just sit him on the bench, and that's Alex Call's position at this point. So I think in a few weeks, when Dylan Cruz is healthy, you'll have James Wood, Dylan Cruz, and I believe at this point it's going to be Dalen Lyle as your starting right fielder for the Nationals. And I think that's a good outfield. I think that brings the ceiling up dramatically. And I think Dalen Lyle has really proven that this guy belongs. He's good. So with that in mind, it's not just the outfield. You also have the infield. Brady House is going to be making the jump here pretty damn soon. Now, this one's a little bit more easy in my opinion, and it starts with Jose Tena. Jose Tena has one option left. So when Brady House is ready, the Nationals are likely going to option Jose Tena. He's got one left. After that, it's done with. You cannot option him anymore and demote him down to AAA. You have one more option left. Send him down to AAA, get him some at-bats, and bring Brady House up. Because similar to Tena, with Hassel the third actually, those two guys do have high ceilings, and they can be very good players. But I do believe that Brady House, he's going to be the future at third base. That's a lot easier of a conversation than Dalen Lyle and Robert Hassel. Hassel's good, but I think Lyle has shown me more. And so with Brady House potentially coming up here pretty soon, you're going to have to option Jose Tena. And then your infield is going to look like Brady House, CJ Abrams, Luis Garcia, Nathaniel Lowe. That's pretty damn good. That is a pretty exciting infield. Some outfield tandems as well with Dalen Lyle, Dylan Cruz in center, James Wood in left. Then all of a sudden you look at the diamond and you've got a lot of young players and a lot of young talent at basically every single position. Besides first base, I think Nathaniel Lowe is good, but he's not an exciting young talent. He's 31 years old at this point. Keibert Ruiz, 26-year-old catcher, has shown some flashes here and there, but overall, you guys know what Keibert Ruiz is at this point. Then at third base, on the left side of this infield, and the left side of the field in general, you have James Wood in left, CJ Abrams at short, and Brady House at third base. We're that close, having all of those guys up in the majors playing at the same time. Not even to mention Dylan Cruz. The excitement of Dalen Lyle and right. The Nationals are close. And they're pretty damn close to having this happen. So that's something that I think these moves will happen soon. And just to kind of wrap it all up here, kind of put in a bow on it, this is what your infield and your lineup overall is going to look like. CJ Abrams at short, James Wood in left. Then you'll have some sort of contingency of Nathaniel Lowe at first base. You'll have Josh Bell as DH, Luis Garcia Jr. at second, Brady House at third, Dalen Lyle in right field, Dylan Cruz in center, and Ruiz behind the dish. Then your rotation with Williams potentially being in the bullpen, you'll have Gore, you'll have Irvin, Soroka, maybe Parker, and Cade Cavalli. That's going to be your rotation at this point. So watch out for those lineup changes because I think they're happening soon. And maybe if you feel different about some of these prospects, let me know down in the YouTube comment section, or you can tweet at me at RyanClary11. That is where you'll find my Twitter. Now let's get into a Nats Cubs preview. As guys, it's a Gore day. It is a Mackenzie Gore day. We love that for this show. We love that as a Nationals fan. We'll discuss that after we tell you about our friends at Supply House. Get the supplies that you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. And plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. I have a rental apartment here. Things break, and they break down real quick and real fast. Well, with the help of Supply House, they are my reliable way to get products online delivered right to my door from coast to coast, and I can fix them myself because they have got the step-by-step instructions for a dummy like me who's not very good with big-time equipment and fixing all these different problems around the house. It's made it a lot easier for me. So I want that same just advanced kind of project that you can do yourself. and I can do it myself. You should trust in yourself as well. I'll just put it that way. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That is supplyhouse.com. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. So the Nationals have game 2 of this Cubs series tonight, 6:45 first pitch. You've got a southpaw matchup, and this is going to be a great pitching matchup. Left-handed pitcher Matthew Boyd for the Cubs. He is 5-2 on the season. He's got around a 3.2 ERA against Mackenzie Gore for the Washington Nationals, number 1 in the National League in strikeouts, tied for most in strikeouts in Major League Baseball with Garrett Crochet of the Boston Red Sox. And funny enough, I was actually looking at the strikeout list. It's just a bunch of left-handed studs. Mackenzie Gore, Garrett Crochet, Tariq Skubal, Carlos Rodon, just all lefties, just striking people out left and right this season. So just wanted to get that note in there. But in tonight's contest, we talked about this series and just how big of a momentum swing it could be for the Nationals. If you win this game, and if you win tonight's game, the series is tied 1-1. But also just the momentum of it. Going into a series against the Texas Rangers, having a big weekend ahead of you. It's going to be a C.J. Abrams bobblehead this weekend, and unfortunately for him, he's slumping right now. But with where the Nationals are, tonight's game, you have to feel great about this. Mackenzie Gore going up against the Nationals, and also, by the way, I will add, you're going up against a very good pitcher with Matthew Boyd. So who's kind of having a renaissance season. He has bounced around from team to team. In the 2010s, he was with the Detroit Tigers. Pretty solid years for them overall. But let's focus in on the Nats. This feels good. And where the Nationals are right now, you need this win. You need to kind of rest your bullpen. We talked about it yesterday with Trevor Williams. You saw all the A guys out there. Jose Ferrer was not amongst those guys, but still, you've seen it. Andrew Chafin was in the game yesterday. Did not record an out, by the way. Cole Henry. You saw Jackson Rutledge come in later in the game. You got to kind of rest your bullpen here. And tonight, it gives you the opportunity to do so. I think Mackenzie Gore will go 7 strong innings, maybe an earned run, might be a home run given up by not Kyle Tucker at this point. He's hurt right now, but still, it could be any of those guys in the Cubs lineup. But with where Gore is, I feel great about tonight's game, and with where the Nationals are, they should come out on top. And that's what I expect at this point. I want to see wins. You want to see wins. And if you want wins, who's better at it than Mackenzie Gore at this point? Well, he is 2-5 in the year, but who cares about win-losses in Major League Baseball for starting pitchers? Does not matter. I look at the whip, I look at his strikeout rate, and all those things check out. Mackenzie Gore's your ace. If you need a big win, he's able to provide that for you nearly each time. But it's about run support tonight. And can the Nationals offense take advantage of Matthew Boyd, who's had a very, very solid season for them? Someone will have to find out in tonight's game. But I do believe the Nationals get the big win. We'll be talking about a Victory Thursday here on Locked On Nationals. So I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats. Beat those Cubs.